We welcome all viewers of the Freedom TV channel. Thank you for being with us. This is our time, and here are the main news stories at this hour. In the studio, Yuri Kulinik. Hello? Russia continues to strike at civilian infrastructure. This morning, the invaders hit a gas station on the outskirts of the Sumy community with a drone. A civilian was injured, according to the regional military administration. The drone attacked a car on the gas station premises. A fire broke out. As of now, the fire has already been extinguished. The man who suffered burns received medical assistance. Today, a Russian drone also struck a civilian car in the Aktyrka district. The driver was killed. In total, over the past day, Russian forces shelled 46 settlements in the Sumy region. And also this morning, the Russians fired on Kherson, using both artillery and drones. 3 Kherson residents were injured, according to the regional military administration. It was also reported that 2 residents of the Kherson region were killed by Russian forces. A few days ago, the occupiers shelled Shlyakov in the Berislav community. The Russians used FPV drones and artillery to strike the Nikopol district of the Dnipropetrovsk region. They targeted Nikopol itself, as well as the Pokrovska and Marinets communities. In the Mazova community, a local resident was injured yesterday as a result of a strike with glide bombs. As a result of Russian attacks, residential houses, multi-apartment private buildings, and power lines were damaged and destroyed. Ukraine's defense forces struck the Olya seaport in the Astrakhan region of the Russian Federation, according to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. This is an important logistics hub through which Russia receives military goods from Iran. According to available information, a vessel loaded with components for Shahed-type UAVs and Iranian munitions was hit. Russian authorities have not commented on this so far. The strike on the oil refinery in Russia's Syzran was also confirmed by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The refinery was attacked by Special Operations Forces in coordination with other elements of the defense forces. According to local social media groups, the facility was hit by drones, more than 10 explosions were heard, and a fire broke out at the site of the strike. I should note that the Syzran oil refinery is one of the largest in the Rosneft structure and is key for the southern Volga region. Every year, it processes about 8 million tons of oil. Among other things, it produces aviation kerosene and is involved in supplying the Russian army. But the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine also shared data on the damage caused to the Kremlin by long-range strikes. Since the beginning of this year alone, in this way, Ukraine's defense forces have inflicted losses on Russia amounting to more than 4% of its GDP. That's more than $74 billion. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, every 10th strike reached more than 1,000 kilometers from Ukraine's state border. Most of the attacks targeted Russian oil refineries and storage facilities. Oil pumping stations also came under fire. Members of the Russian delegation have already started arriving in Vancouver, Alaska, including Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov. He appeared in front of the cameras wearing a sweatshirt, notably with URSS written on it. Meanwhile, the White House has released the schedule for the American president. According to preliminary information, Donald Trump will arrive in Alaska at around 8 in the evening Kiev time. He will meet with Putin at 10 p.m. and will leave the region at 4:45 a.m. on Saturday. So, he will spend less than a day in Vancouver. The Kremlin dictator has also not yet arrived at the meeting location. According to Russian media reports, before flying to Alaska, he stopped in Magadan. Ukraine is striving to end the war and establish peace, but not at any cost. President Donald Trump needs to keep this in mind during the summit in Alaska, said the European Union ambassador to Ukraine, Katerina Madanova. According to her, while the world is hopefully awaiting negotiations, Russia continues to act as always, killing innocent Ukrainians. All existential questions about its future, about ending the war, must be decided by Ukraine with security guarantees from its friends and allies. Otherwise, Putin will strike again. Ukraine wants peace, but not at any cost. I sincerely hope that the United States and President Trump will remember this for the sake of today's Ukrainian victims and all others who have died as a result of Russian attacks. Katerina Madanova, EU ambassador to Ukraine, Facebook. On the eve of the Trump-Putin meeting, Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs reminded everyone, no decisions on the path to peace can be made without Ukraine's participation. Negotiations themselves to restore peace can only be effective after a ceasefire.
No one wants peace more than Ukrainians. No one wants peace more than Europeans. But Russia sees its goal in starting a war. Russia prefers to build new walls on our path to a just and lasting peace. It wants to deprive us of our freedom. However, the transatlantic unity of democracies is stronger than Russian imperialism. And it is precisely thanks to our shared transatlantic strength that we can achieve a worthy peace based on reliable security. Andriy Sybiha, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, on social network X.
The possibility of peace for Ukraine was mentioned by the President of the United States, Donald Trump, on the eve of his meeting with Putin in Alaska today. He also announced a second meeting with the Russian dictator. According to the U.S. President, Volodymyr Zelenskyy should also be present at this meeting, and possibly some European leaders as well. The head of the White House made this statement during a briefing in the Oval Office.
As early as tomorrow, I would like to begin preparations for our next meeting. It should take place in the near future. I would like this to happen very quickly, soon after the first round of talks. It's possible that this meeting will also take place in Alaska. We could stay and organize it there. That would make things much easier. I think it will be interesting. We'll find out where everyone stands. I'll figure that out within the first 2, 3, 4, or 5 minutes. Usually, that's enough time to understand. And if the meeting doesn't go well, it'll end very quickly. And if the negotiations are successful, we could achieve peace in the near future.
Europe is seriously considering reviving the Iron Rhine Railway in response to the growing threat from Russia. This is reported by Politico, citing a representative from Belgium's Ministry of Transport. According to him, discussions are gaining momentum, and the country's prime minister has taken personal control of the project. In the 19th century, the Iron Rhine Railway connected Antwerp in Belgium with the industrial heart of Germany, the Ruhr region. It played a key role in the movement of Allied troops during World War II. But after 1991, certain sections of the railway were abandoned, and some parts stopped being used altogether. Romania, Bulgaria, and Turkey will increase their presence in the Black Sea due to the threat from Russia. Specifically, this involves the creation of a joint group for demining the maritime area, according to Romanian Defense Minister Ionut Mostina. He said that the mission is expected to include patrol forces to protect energy facilities and trade routes from potential Russian attacks. Mostina also added that in the coming years, the Black Sea will remain a battleground for the Russian Federation. In the coming years, the project will have to be expanded into a patrol mission. We will discuss this soon with our allies. We must stand up to Russia and protect our interests, namely our energy infrastructure, maritime trade, and freedom of navigation. Ionut Mostinu, Minister of Defense of Romania.